Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome to episode 191 of Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason. Today I'm joined by Jody.
Hello.
Hello. Mondo is in the pit at the Maryland Death Metal Fest.
Maryland Death Fest.
Maryland Death Fest. So we have our good friend Casey from Bloody Good Horror. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Now, before we begin, did you and Jody coordinate your purple shirts?
I was wondering that myself. I'm like, ooh, we got that just right.
I was gonna say, I think just on the whole, the podcast is even beardier than usual tonight.
Yeah. For the rare time, I'm like one of the more closer trimmed beards.
There you go. Yeah, when's the last time you had the shortest beard on the podcast?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, what's going on over at Bloody Good Horror?
Oh, all sorts of good stuff. We talked about we're getting ready to talk about the new Fear Street prom night. That'll be our next episode coming out by the time you hear this. So I'm excited for that. I really love the first three. So
that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Tonight or tomorrow, I want to end up watching it. I guess it probably drops at midnight tonight. Probably.
I think it's out now.
Yeah.
Is it out now? I don't know.
I thought maybe I just saw an upcoming tile for it. But.
Yeah.
I
think there is an upcoming tile because I did the same thing. I saw it like last weekend. I'm like, oh, it's out, and then I went back and I'm like, oh.
Oh, wait, so you're reviewing that next week?
Yeah, we just got done reviewing Final Destination: Bloodlines.
Yeah, I love that. Loved it.
We talked about that a lot last time, and I think we're pretty united in that it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the story's inconsequential, but everything else was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Now, Casey, you usually do another podcast with your wife, Cinema Fromage.
Yes.
And I had a total flashback moment. I'm in some Facebook groups for movie props, like with like serious collectors. And someone had the animatronic tails from Zombieverse.
Oh.
And I came very close.
Oh, yes, that would be tempting
to do that. But then I was like, and then I remember you and Colleen did a great review on Zombie forever ago, it seems like.
Yeah, it has been forever ago.
And the real question is, do they still work? If they still work, like, I mean, that's worth getting.
I mean, if they don't, that's a project.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, tonight we are going back to Black Mirror. Again, we're in the current season 7, episode 5. This episode is called Eulogy. Jody, give us a plot synopsis.
All right. So we meet a man named Philip, played by Paul Giamatti, and he finds out that his ex-girlfriend Carol, who he has not seen in decades, has died. And he finds it out through this company called Eulogy. What Eulogy does is they put together like photo memories and things like that to show at the funeral. It's a memorial thing. He's kind of hesitant about it, but he's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And there's this guide voice that walks him through. Think, like a assistant on your phone, Siri or whatever. And through that technology, he is able to virtually enter in, like he puts the little thing up on his head and he goes into the pictures that he has been able to find of her. He's trying to find a picture of her. We find out that the relationship ended very badly. And so he doesn't have very many pictures at all. And the ones he does, he's like torn her face out of the pictures because he was hurt and, lashed out. And that's, he can't even hardly recall her face. And I sympathize. I understand that idea of like trying to remember a face that just will not come to you, even if it's someone important to you. So anyway, so they're exploring the photos and we find out, kind of all the details of their relationship. They temporarily lived together with like this collective of artists, you know, kind of that young 20 somethings in a big city. I think it was in London. She played the cello, and he had a band and got her in the band, and she went off. Oh no, sorry, they ended up in London after she moved. After a while, like they'd been together, living in this place, I guess in New York, and then they went to London. Anyway, she went to London. So anyway, on his birthday, she calls him to wish him happy birthday, and finds out that in kind of a drunken stupor the night before, he had hooked up with one of the other people in the collective, and she answered the phone. Then he decides to go to London to see her. When he gets there, he proposes, and it does not go well. She doesn't say anything, and she just kind of leaves. What we find out through all of this, first off, the guide is not just like Siri. It is her daughter in like a virtual form who is going through collecting all of these memories. But because it's the virtual version of her, she doesn't have to deal with all the bad stuff that these memories could potentially bring up. So like she's only going to get what the guide brings back to her. But she has all of the thoughts and memories. So like throughout the things, she's being kind of harsh towards him at times, and like, why didn't you let her do this? And that's why we find out that the guide is actually her daughter speaking to him. We also find out, looking at all of these pictures, that she was actually pregnant with that daughter when he proposed. And that was part of the reason why things fell apart. In response to his one night stand, she also had a one night stand and she got pregnant. And she said, I explained it all in the note. It's like, what note? There was no note. And they look back through some of the old pictures, and he sees on the ground a note with his name on it. But of course, it's not real. It's all virtual. And so he can't pick it up. He can't see it. He starts digging through some of his old memories, an old box of stuff that has the photos in it. And he finds the note where she explains everything. She admitted that she had been unfaithful and there was pregnancy, but she still loved him and wanted back, and said, you know, meet me here at this time if you also want to start back over. And of course, he never saw that note until decades later. And so we end with him listening to a recording of the cello music that she had played. And through that, it kind of gets his memory going enough that he can see her face again for the first time, looking back through all these pictures. And we get that intercut with him attending her funeral. So bittersweet.
And Jody getting a little choked up there at the end of the plot summary.
It's real good. Like, it's real good. But yeah,
this one's a a little kind of heartwarming, very sad.
Yeah, I mean, for Black Mirror, this is not where near as depressing as it sometimes gets. You know, it is sad.
I really enjoyed this one. It's like I said, it's kind of heartwarming, and it's a very charming movie in its own way, but it is very sad. And Paul Giamatti, who I'm a big fan of, I think he's the perfect kind of sad sack type of individual or actor to carry the story, and he did very well through this. I really liked it. I was not really familiar with the actress that played the daughter, Patsy Farron, but she was great too. And I kind of loved her transition through from the beginning to end of this, where she sounded like the AI guide and stuff, and kind of sterile and nice and polite, but then you could see like her motives starting to come through. Not necessarily a motive, but you could see her anger and stuff start to build, and her reactions to his stories and everything. And put it all together with this story. The writing was really well too. It managed to weave this story that was intriguing, and it not being able to see his old girlfriend's face added some intrigue a little bit, which was kind of nice and gave it some flavor. And yeah, it was just a nice little journey. And like you were saying earlier, Jody, that's kind of a rarity for Black Mirror, where you don't feel traumatized afterwards. You just feel like, well, I went through for an emotional ride, but I'm okay.
It's a different kind of emotional ride. This is like, a little nostalgia. It's looking back and being like, yeah, I remember her. Like that feeling of like love lost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, because the sadness in this is more of like a human, like just more relatable, not just
Right.
like a soul crushing, dystopian
Right.
thing. Like,
Nobody gets smothered with a pillow at the end,
yeah. Well, and this
no
is
pigs involved.
no pigs are involved. Thank goodness. Yeah, it's such a human story, and this is why I think Black Mirror's at its best. Where it's telling a really human story, and technology is just kind of putting a different spin on it, and it's not like the focal point of what's happening.
I mean, this one wasn't at all about like the evils of technology. Like the technology
Right,
wasn't
exactly.
evil. Like it was kind of neutral. It just was the catalyst to get everything going.
The kind of breakdown of working with memory and stuff was really interesting too.
Yeah.
And I like how she was talking about how, well, maybe if we could find the song, it would jog your memory and help fill out that memory and stuff, which I know some of that's based on reality. I'm sure it's extended here, but it was fascinating to hear about it, and it helped kind of offset that technology focus. So
well, and what I really liked about it was it was kind of a contrasting, like a very analog time, because it takes place like when he meets her and everything is in the 90s, where like most people didn't have email at that time. There's no social media. There's no way to like email her or for like anyone to like follow, or they're like, by the time they would have had a chance to look each other up, they're both over it. Right. So it's an interesting throwback to that kind of time where, I think all of us were like, well, if you miss someone, then that's it. You can never really find them again.
Yeah. Well, and like just remembering what it was like to only have physical things to remember by, like he had like maybe 20 pictures total, and then most of them were destroyed. My phone has, I don't know, 5,000 pictures on it right now, something ridiculous. Pictures used to be precious. Like I remember having a a film camera and like thinking through every shot, because I had 24, and once I ran out, I was out of film.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still have like a shoebox of like random pictures from high school and other stuff, like your prom pictures and stuff. And it's kind of nice having like a tactile thing to hold and like to focus that memory on. I really
like when you'd find that random abandoned disposable camera in your drawer somewhere, and so you take it in, get it developed. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah. What I really like though, and is how when they look in the picture and then they kind of go into the memory, and it was almost very Spike Jonze, like a Spike, because the people who directed this were two music video directors. That's what they're known for. So it's a very music video moment where he kind of like walks through the picture, and like everything is kind of like there's different planes he's walking through, and they're like kind of flat but kind of not, and then like the parts that he can't see or can't remember are like kind of pixelated or like kind of like low resolution graphics, polygon. That's what I'm trying to say. I just loved how they represented all that, and they kind of, especially in the more complicated pictures, because they start very simple, then you find some more pictures, and there's like different scenes within the same location that they're kind of turning through.
Well, it was cool because it's not just that they're in the picture; they're kind of in his memory of the picture. So as he remembers more, the picture develops more.
Yeah, we're watching it grow, because there was that one scene where he was staring into that dark room through that doorway, and he's like, we were in this room somewhere, and then all of a sudden the light turned on, and I was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah. And again, Paul Giamatti is just amazing in this. He's kind of, there's like two other actors I think would have like really done well in this kind of role, like John C. Reilly and William H. Macy, as like those sad sack guys. But I think obviously Paul Giamatti is a perfect cast for this. It'd be interesting if they had like just more of a random older actor, which I think the episode would still be good, but he just knocks it out of the park.
Well, he's so sympathetic. Like even when you go back through the memories and you realize both of him and the girlfriend screwed up real bad. Like this relationship ended for a reason, but you still feel like sympathetic to both of them. Like, you were young and stupid and you made mistakes. I feel like this is one made for guys in their 40s and 50s. You just watch this and like, oh yeah, I remember being 20 something.
Oh yeah. And you can feel his heartbreak when he finally found and read that letter. And I just like, oh man, I'm so sorry.
Now, did you guys suspect anything with the AI guide.
I thought something was weird about it
Like,
because she kept being kind of like, he would say something and she would kind of snap at him like, why would you do
Yeah.
that? Why would you treat her that way? I'm like, that's weird if all it's doing is collecting memories.
well, I think part of it is that it's like evolving as it learns more, because it starts
True.
off very simple in the beginning, but yeah, there's a point where it starts taking things a little bit personally, and at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, because it's Black Mirror, you know, there's going to be something a little bit more to the story, and I kind of
Sure.
for a while I thought that she was actually was it Elizabeth, the girl that he's trying to remember, like, or like some like AI version of her or something like that is like trying to reconnect or something like that. I thought just was gonna, she wasn't actually dead, which would have been a bit
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But then when you find out it's the daughter, like, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
And I forgot to mention in my synopsis, she was going to tell him who she was and why she was there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he skipped the instructions at the beginning. She was like, okay, here's my intro. He's like, no, skip, move on.
Which is,
We missed
again,
all that.
something men of our age are like, we don't want to read the terms and agreements. Just keep going.
Have you ever read the terms? No.
Get on with
Yeah.
it. I want to sit down.
So yeah, that was a really funny. That was really funny. But yeah, when he's remembering her playing the song on the cello, and then the daughter, who's now a cellist, is playing the same song at the funeral, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. And you can see that again. Back to Paul Giamatti, you can see you can see that recognition in his face when he walked in there and heard her playing in the funeral home. That was great.
Well, like you were saying, Casey, I like how it kind of played with the ideas of how memories work and how different types of memories can trigger different things. And, you know,
Right.
I a few years ago, I remember we were on vacation somewhere and we stopped at some little gas station, and, you know, you can get some road snacks or whatever. And I picked up a thing of grape bubble yum, which I probably hadn't had in, you know, 30 something years. And the moment I put it in my mouth, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in 4th grade. Like, there was just like this instant, like, triggering of like so many memories just from that flavor. I remember my dad doing the same thing one time and eating a piece of candy and being like, oh my gosh, like I remember it. Like I'm about to go on a spiel of like 50 different memories just from this piece of candy, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, they know that if you can associate a memory with a sensation like laughter or being scared or happy or joy, like you're obviously going to remember what happened around in that memory much stronger. That's why, you know, certain movies we cling on to, even if a movie's not good per se, sometimes we remember or like it much more because of an emotion that we had during watching that movie, like, you know, laughing at something ridiculous, or maybe the person you're watching it with. I think we've all had those experiences.
Jason, I feel like you're commenting on all the movies I pick when I do staff picks right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we especially as the horn geeks, you know, with our really obscure tastes, you know, cling on to those kind of things.
Yeah.
And maybe we're chasing that feeling of disgust or excitement when something really crazy happens.
All that stuff with how they work with that memory and everything too really added to like how you said, Jason, how they kind of humanized this with the technology so it wasn't so far-fetched, and it really kind of breaks it down because we the viewer, everything she was talking about is she started talking about those smells, and like we were just talking about, anybody watches this is going to be like, I've had that experience. Easy to relate to.
There's very few Black Mirror episodes that I see the tech in there and I'm like, okay, I want to try that. But this one, you put the little thing on your head and you can enter into old pictures. Sign me up. I'm in. Like, it won't take me any time at all to try this one. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I was thinking this is probably one of the only Black Mirror episodes I think I'd watch with my wife, because, you know, not, it was very normy. I think she'd really like it.
Now that you say that, Jody, this is like the first. I started out watching this like, okay, what's the nefarious driver behind the Eulogy technology? And then it didn't happen, and I was like, huh, that's new.
Yeah. The technology's not always bad.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I was thinking about like during like COVID when we did all those like group videos that we send to people, you know, for like birthdays and whatever. This is like the next, you know, extension of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is like sharing our actual memories with people. Yeah. The actress who played the daughter, as you said, Patsy Ferran. The only thing I really know her from, she was in Mickey 17.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
She
okay.
she was the lead female character in that, which is good, but it wasn't very cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
But
I enjoyed it.
I liked it, but yeah, it could have been
Yeah,
a little
I got a
messy.
good laugh.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti. He has such a crazy career when you look at his IMDb. He's done
Oh yeah.
a lot of like really good stuff, a lot of like really crazy. He did like this one movie, I think it's like Fat Check or Fat Lie or something like that, with the kid from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh,
Oh,
blank
yeah.
check.
Because they always play, because whenever you go to Universal Studios in California, there's this backlot that looks like a Mexican village, and there's a big water flash flood that happens, and they built that for that movie, so they always play the clip of Paul Giamatti screaming something like, "You don't mess with the jackal," and then just getting hit with water. Like, he's probably more known for that clip because of that ride than anything. I hope he gets paid for it, but
I'm sure Paul does okay.
oh, and then he was the Rhino in the Amazing Spider-Man. I think the second one.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always think of him like in the serious roles. I forget he did so many wacky things. Like,
Oh,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, he's on like a bunch of crazy like kids voiceover stuff. I mean, the guy likes to get paid, and I don't blame him for that one bit.
Oh yeah.
No.
I mean, he's still one of these guys that when I see his name on something, like that's a big plus for me wanting to watch it.
Mhm.
Like as soon as I
yeah.
saw him pop up on screen, I'm like, okay, I'm settled in now. I'm going to watch this.
Have you guys seen American Splendor?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's really good. That's like made for him kind of role.
I think the first thing I really go ahead.
I was gonna say I even watched. I think it was The Leftovers
Oh, The Holdovers.
or The Holdovers, just because he was in it.
Yeah,
that's like one of Mondo's favorite movies from like the last couple of years. I would say he talks about that a lot,
he
and
loved it.
I keep wanting to watch. I just haven't had time.
I think the first thing I remember him in. Do you remember the movie Man on the Moon? It was the Andy Kaufman.
Oh yeah.
Jim Carrey
one. Yeah.
I loved that movie at the time. Like that was one of those movies I watched over and over. And he did all the whatever Andy Kaufman's friend. I don't remember his name, but he was great in that too.
Yeah. I know you're talking about that.
So yeah, I'd love to see more of what these directors are going to do next. It's Christopher Barrett and Luke Taylor. They did music videos for Radiohead, the Rolling Stones, and Jack White. And they bring so much style to the photo parts where he goes into photos.
Yeah.
I would love to see this adapted into like a 2-person play.
Yeah.
Like that'd be so cool to have like the sets like just kind of rolled in and out.
That would be cool.
I was kind of visualizing. And
have everyone kind of frozen in place, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. But I mean, it's really just those two characters for 90% of this too, and they have to carry it, and I think they really do. They do it well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she's just a voice for like at least half of it. I don't know. At some point, she like materializes. I was kind of like surprised. I mean, he was too, but when she just kind of shows up, like, oh, okay. So I thought it was just gonna be him the entire episode. All right, let's do a rating on this episode. We do 0 to 5, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. You can do half points. Casey, what do you give this episode?
I'll go 4.5. I enjoyed it.
All right, and Jody.
Yeah, I'm right there with Casey. Like, I can't. It's hard to give a 5, but like it's just below it. Like 4.5. It's really good.
I'm going 5. I love this.
Awesome.
I think I'm gonna remember this one.
I'll argue with you.
Yeah, for an episode that really gives you the feels, but not in like a depressing way. You just want to go like have a bar of chocolate and just crawl up in the ball, but
yeah,
gives you the feels. But like, okay, that's just kind of the way life works sometimes.
Yeah. No, this episode had the feeling of getting out that old box, that has all the old pictures and just kind of browsing through and like remembering stuff, good and bad, like that.
Yep.
It had that feel as a TV show.
Yeah. So hats off to them for that. All right. Let's take a quick break and do a shout outs.
Hey there. John Harrison here, and you're listening to Dads from the Crypt.
So cool.
Yeah, so I want to give another plug. We did end up having our interview. Originally, it was going to be John Harrison, Greg Nicotero, and Michael Gornick talking about the 40th anniversary of Day of the Dead. Fortunately, Michael Gornick had to drop out, but we got producer Ed Lammy on, and we had a great conversation. It's out now on our YouTube and all of our podcasting platforms. I love doing an interview where I don't have to talk much. If I'm talking the one who talks the least.
Yeah.
And I always do this. I always like over prepare, make way too many questions. And if I'm the one having to ask all these questions and like get the person to talk, which again, for one-on-one interviews is more of that. But this is more of like these old guys just sitting around and just reminiscing and just bringing up amazing stories about, an amazing movie. So it was a really good time. I really
That's
liked
awesome.
it.
How many times has John Harrison been on the show now? Like at least 4, I think.
3 or 4. I have to double check.
I don't know. He's cool. He's always
so cool. Yeah. And like again, Michael Gornick dropped at the last minute, and John was able to reach out to this other guy, Ed, within like 2 hours. So
just call up friends
for that. Yeah, exactly. Alrighty. Mono's not here to do song of the day. So I was kind of brainstorming on this, kind of doing like a loose association. And as many of you know, I'm a big fan of Tool. And they do have a song called Eulogy, but I'm not going there. But I'm doing another song from that album, Anima, or however you're going to say it. It's one of those unpronounceable albums. And there's many songs I could have picked. There's Hooker with a Penis. I could have gone with that just for shock value. I could have gone Push It, which is like my underrated favorite song from the album. But I decided to go with a spoken word track. Most people consider it a filler. It's called Eier, De Eier von Satan, which translates to the eggs of Satan. And it is kind of industrial clanging and a man speaking German over chanting. And most people think this is like some crazy satanic whateverness. But actually, he's reading a recipe to make hash cookies.
Okay.
Nice.
And since many of us, I think all 3 of us are travelers of the green to certain different degrees, I thought that would be an appropriate song for us.
Very nice.
So, and I always like to put something, throw a curveball into Mondo's algorithm if he ever gets around to updating the algorithm.
That playlist will someday. But we have to go back and like listen to every episode again and figure out what the songs were. It's going to take work.
We need someone like Caitlin from Kissimmee, like one of those diehard fans that just creates spreadsheets for us.
Yeah, I need somebody who loves spreadsheets to just go back through and collect it all.
No, I like spreadsheets. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
But I'm not going to go through and listen to. I almost never listen to all our episodes after the record.
Do you like listening to yourself talk? Because that's a whole different thing.
That's my problem.
So there we go. Song of the day: De Eier von Satan, otherwise known as the Eggs of Satan.
Very nice.
All right, Jody, give us some horror news.
All right. So we've got a couple of trailers I wanted to talk about. First one, talk about real briefly, just to let you know it's out there. There is a new trailer for Predator Killer of Killers. Still looks awesome. Still very much into this. Can't wait. It comes out
June 6th.
June 6th, yeah.
In my head, it's like coming out like towards the end of the summer, but I didn't realize it's coming out so soon. And I was actually making our calendar, and I'm like, I have to put this on there now.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, Predator Killer of Killers, new trailer, more samurai fighting and all kinds of other fight. It just looks cool.
The World War II stuff looks amazing. Yeah. I'm really excited.
Okay, I gotta go find that.
And like there's one shot where one of the predators is kind of walking away, and he has like a cape. And I've seen people saying that, and the cape kind of moves like it's made of different pieces. So people say it might be like alien tails, like xenomorph tails.
That's cool.
He had like a whip that could have been a xenomorph tail. I don't know. Speculation. It's all, you're watching something animated on your phone. It's kind of hard to tell details, but that would be badass.
Well, this is another that it just reminded me how cool the animation looks in this. It's got some of that Spider-Verse type animation where it's a little flickery, but like in a cool way. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, nice. I didn't know it was animated. That's cool. Because I love the Spideyverse movies, so I'm down with that animation stuff.
Yeah, that the Spider-Verse and then the new Ninja Turtles movie, Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah,
They
that was
both
really
have
good.
that same style. They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Right.
like Beat Mayhem.
Yeah, it's great. All right. Another trailer is we got our first trailer for the HBO prequel series to It. This is Welcome to Derry, and it's set in sometime in the 60s.
Yeah, because it's 27 years. So in this, I think it's following the same continuity of the movies. So that was 87, I think.
Yeah.
So
So it'd be
this is-
around 1960-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
And you get to meet a couple different families. I love the concept because since Pennywise does have this cyclical, comes back every 27 years, all you got to do is go back 27 more years. You got another period show. Like it's
Well,
ready to go.
Well, in this period almost lines up with the original book period. So
Right.
though I am, my one concern is that they might just recycle stuff. Like we saw like a girl looking into a drain and hearing voices. I'm like, that's cool, but we've seen it before. I'd like something new. So
it helps. I think Andy and Barbara Muschietti are in charge of it again. They're the same ones who did the movies. Skarsgård is back as Pennywise again. So there's enough talent here. I feel like if they can come up with a cool story, it should be good. I hope. Anyway.
Yeah, especially with Skarsgård back, I'm down to give it a shot at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As long as it's like actually him, not just like CGI, like him, like they did in this, and then the other parts. I thought that was...
I'm pretty sure he's actually in the cast on this one. Like, I think. And one more trailer to talk about, and this is the one I'm most excited to talk about because it looks freaking insane. There is a new movie coming from Japan called Best Wishes to All. It's produced by the guy who made The Grudge, like the original Grudge. And it's going to come to Shudder June 13th. We don't have to wait long for it.
Ooh.
I honestly don't know how to describe what happens in this trailer. It's insanity. I do know that at the Overlook Film Festival this last year, it got the award for the scariest feature. And it looks crazy. There's people with sewed up mouths. There's people that are all pale. It looks like Japan, like at their freakiest. And I'm 100% down for that. Well, I mean, one of my favorite movies the last couple of years was the Sadness. When Japan wants to go nuts, they can really go nuts.
Yeah,
and that's what this looks like to me.
I watched. You sent me the trailer. I watched, and I have no clue what the hell's happening.
No idea. Yeah, the description of it is a young woman visit to her grandparents' home leads to the discovery of what's brought them happiness, a revelation that will lead her to question her choices, sanity, and reality. That says nothing. I have no idea. I have no idea. The film's tagline is, though, there's a limit to the amount of happiness on Earth. So that sounds cheery.
Yeah, it does. I mean, to be honest, though, it sounds about as cohesive of a plot as some of those ones when Japan was making batshit insane movies.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm very excited for this. It looks cool. The trailer looks great. And that scariest feature at Overlook Film Festival really pushes it up to the top of my list for things to watch. So June 13th on Shudder. Another one we don't have to wait very long for. Just a couple other quick things worth mentioning. Jurassic World Rebirth is coming out. I saw the trailer. I mean, it looks fun to me. The Jurassic Park / World universe is one that I am always happy to visit, whether or not, it's a new movie or an old movie. This one looks fun. They got more monstery kind of dinosaurs because these are supposed to be like the reject dinosaurs, like the mutated ones. And so some of these dinosaurs are not actual dinosaurs. They're just like big old monsters. I'm down. Yep. But they have revealed the fancy popcorn bucket that you can get with this. And it's a giant T-Rex head. It's a $30 huge T-Rex head. I guess you flip it upside down and eat out of the I don't know. You know what? It's just a big T-Rex head. So that's something that I would like to have in my house.
I swear I saw something on Threads the other day that there's another popcorn bucket that looks like one of their lab devices with like a baby dinosaur inside of it.
I'm an easy sell for Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Like,
I think the last one though, Dominion, was
I like Dominion. I like
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was so bored.
Dominion I'm trying to remember which one was which. Which one did they
That's
end up
the
in? That
one where
house?
it's like the flies are like
No,
mutated.
the Dominion was the one, yeah, that was in the like real world, like the dinosaurs had gotten into like our world.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
there
I've
was
seen that one yet.
Too much locust talk, too much
Yeah.
like bioengineered locusts, but there were dinosaurs like at drive-ins. So I mean,
Like there were cool shots, but I mean, yeah, I'll watch it. Dinosaurs fucking shit up, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a little sore from that one, and also the trailer had so many cliched human like dialogue moments. Like, well, this isn't supposed to be fun. I don't know. Like, this looks bad.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't get excited for the Jurassic Park universe, but I'll watch them because there's dinosaurs.
Yeah. All right, a couple other quick things. We found out that the author of Clown in a Cornfield, Adam Caesar, is going to be writing the official novelization of the Toxic Avenger, the new movie that's coming out. So yeah, that's just fun stuff. I like Adam Caesar. I like Toxie. There can't be a bad side to that.
That's like that sentence is like a Mad Lib. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
when's Toxic Avenger coming out? Because that I'm hyped for that.
Sometime this summer, I think. Late summer, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Clown in a Cornfield yet?
I haven't
Not
yet. I
yet.
really want to.
So my wife Colleen is a huge fan of his books,
Mhm.
and so
like the
she's
book.
read all three of the books. So we went Mother's Day weekend. Actually, that's what was her Mother's Day present. So it was fun. It was like your typical like late '90s kind of general teeny bopper horror movie, and they knew it. So
Yeah. No, it definitely gives the vibe of teen slasher.
yeah,
But I still enjoy teen slashers too. So
exactly. It's just dumb fun.
yeah. All right, and one more piece of news that kind of gives a little crossover with some bloody good horror stuff, because we're going to talk about Eli Roth in the horror section for just a minute here.
Ooh.
And so we've already heard a while ago that Eli Roth is directing a new movie called The Ice Cream Man that we know nothing about other than it's called The Ice Cream Man. But he's also revealed that he is writing and directing a movie called Final Cut, which is a kind of his take on the Italian Giallo movie. I mean, I like Giallos, and I generally like most movies that Eli Roth puts out. So, especially after Thanksgiving, like I'm giving the man a whole lot of Thanksgiving really put me in his corner, and so anything he's directing, I'm gonna watch. But I like Giallo, and I like whatever Ice Cream Man is, just because it's called Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
Do we know if it is directly related to the Clint Howard Ice Cream Man?
I don't think so. I think
It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. They have they released any details about that, or is it just that it's called Ice Cream Man?
Yeah,
that's all
I've heard is
okay.
It's called Ice Cream Man. So
I know there's a really
cool. Be very excited about it.
There's a really cool comic series called Ice Cream Man that's like very like I don't know, like existential horror. Like it's wild, but I don't think it's that. I think they would have mentioned that at some point if it was, and I don't think it's related to the clan. I have no idea. I'm gonna watch it, whatever it is. But yeah, that's all I got today.
All right, Casey, actually, as the representative of Bloody Good Horror, can you tell us about and our listeners about the horror section?
The horror section is a new endeavor with Eli Roth, who is partnered up with one of my co-hosts over at Bloody Good Horror, John Schnars, who is now the CEO of the horror section, where they're going to be him and Eli are going to be producing horror movies. Some of them are going to be Eli's, and they're picking up. They're shopping for movies right now, and they've got their first one coming out later this year, Jimmy and Stiggs by Joe Begos.
Yeah, it's Joe Begos.
W fame. So
yeah, I also saw they're making a German remake of Knock Knock. That was an Eli Roth movie, and they're producing that too. So they're kind of expanding beyond just like it's not just like Eli Roth's pet projects. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, they're going full production studio. So
right, and there's also like a partly crowdfunding aspect. So anyone can buy like a share of the company, and there's different tiers and whatnot, and then you are like the shareholder is not is the right term or not, but you're like invested in the company. I don't know if you get a return, but like you get like perks and stuff, and you like
kind of Patreon-ish.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
but it sounds like a cool way to do it. And I know part of what they're doing is they're basically keeping the studios out. Like there's no studio interference. They can make the movies they want to make, whatever those happen to be. So
which is big for Eli. So
yeah,
right.
I mean, we've had some success in the last couple of years with movies getting like unrated releases. I mean, Terrifier 3 got the big release. Terrifier 2 got it. There's something else that came out unrated not too long ago. Toxie, the new Toxic Avenger is going to come out unrated. And so, like, I feel like we're in a time where giving filmmakers like kind of a blank check to do whatever they want, we could actually get it in theaters instead of just, weird DVDs like we used to.
Nice. All right. Before we wrap up, I've got some questions sent to us by some listeners. Please keep them coming. We love it. You can send questions to dadsfromthecrypt@gmail.com or just send us DM me on Instagram. It's another good place to do that as well. All right. Our first question. What is your favorite kind of ice? As in shaved, cubed, chipped, pellet?
Okay. I'm from the South, and so I have to go with the ice that Sonic uses. They use these little tiny like pellet root beer barrel shaped things. Like I don't know what it is about them, but they're perfect. So I feel like I remember seeing an ad for like you could get one for your own house to make the little like Sonic ice. So it was like $400 for an ice maker. That shows you how much people love that ice.
Damn.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Oh, go ahead, Casey.
I was gonna say I'm a standard cube guy myself.
I was thinking it really depends on what you're drinking. If it's like water, then like shaved ice is good because it'll just disintegrate very quickly and be very cold. But yeah, if I'm drinking like a soda or I'm sipping something that I want to savor, I definitely want like a thick cube.
Yeah,
and just to be, for the most part, I don't use a ton of ice in my drinks. I know some people are like, loaded up with ice. Maybe it comes from growing up as, a little broke kid, but like, you go to the restaurant, you get it without ice, you get like twice as much drink. So,
right. Oh no, I always, whenever I order anything, I always say light ice.
Yeah. I usually, put all my stuff in the refrigerator and don't ice it personally, but I know some people love it.
Well, last year for Mother's Day, my wife wanted an ice maker, like a standalone, and it was nice. It was It was the annoying part is that it's really loud because it like throws the ice down, and like our kitchen is close to our bedroom, so in the middle of the night you'd hear just like a little crash every hour or so. And it eventually died like within the year, so but it was nice. I'll give it that.
See, I'm the type whose ice maker in his freezer died like years ago, and it's like a ridiculous amount to replace it. So I just go, when I go refill my Jewel pods at the gas station, I buy a bag of ice. But I'm also the old man that has a grudge against the local ice company because they don't cube it up very well, and you get like big chunks that you can't fit in your glass. So I'm the old man at the freezer going, God damn
it. Find a good ice bag.
Yeah. I do pat it down before I pick one.
Speaking, this is a good follow-up one. What brands are you loyal to? I was thinking about this. I'm a Google Pixel guy. It's just the most simplest version of Android with like no overlays or anything. It's just straight Android. And I'm not an Apple person whatsoever. So that's my ride or die.
If I had to have an Android phone, it would be a Pixel. That is the only one I've had. I got an Android a few years ago, and it was the Pixel 4, I think, at the time. But I'm Apple all the way now. I don't want to be, but I am. I'm already too deep in the ecosystem.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is the ecosystem for everything now.
I don't want to rebuy my apps that I bought 10 years ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it long enough to be like a brand I'm loyal to, but it's what I'm currently obsessed with is Liquid Death and their seltzer waters.
I love their stuff.
Oh, I'm just obsessed with it. Trying to find it everywhere in town.
Well, I live close to. There you go.
Right there.
I live pretty close to where
Totally
those
myself.
fires, where the fires in LA were, and they're just like handing out pellets of water to anyone who drives by, and they just started handing out liquid death pellets.
Oh wow.
So for a while, I had like all this liquid death stored up. So I got a little spoiled.
I haven't even tried the regular water.
Neither have I.
No, really?
No, lately they've got these like versions of soft drinks, like it's sparkling water but flavored like root beer or like a Dr. Pepper, that kind of. They're good. Like the Dr. I did try the Dr.
like
Death
the real
tasty.
thing. Yeah,
the Dr. Death is really good.
yeah. The root beer is really good too. It actually tastes like root beer, but it's clear and everything.
Yeah. And the other brand I'm loyal to, I have to say NECA, because
I was gonna say NECA.
I have an office. My newest one is this little Michael Myers from Part 6. Big fan of that one. So yeah, my whole office is filled with their stuff.
And shameless promotion. We're always big fans of Fright Rags here for great horror t-shirts.
Of course.
Nice.
All right. Another question. What's your favorite kind of pie?
Ooh. Peanut butter for me.
Peanut butter?
Good.
Yeah,
That's
peanut
good
butter
stuff.
pie.
Like, wait, is it just straight peanut butter? Is it like chocolate or?
Sometimes it's got chocolate, but it's usually got like a crust, and then I don't even know how it's made, but it's peanut butter and like whipped cream or something. It's not just like peanut butter slapped in there.
Just like just pour a bucket of peanut butter in the pie shell. It's all good.
It's kind of iceboxy peanut butter. Yeah.
Serve it
That
cold
kind of
and nice and cold, and it's it's like a pudding pie almost.
Mm-hmm. I love a key lime pie.
Oh yeah.
Also like an apple pie with streusel on top. Man, I love pies. Pumpkin pie.
Yeah, mine is pumpkin pie. Just I'll eat it any time of year, and it just brings back that. Again, we're talking about nostalgia and how like different things can make you think of that.
Yeah.
The taste of pumpkin pie just makes you think of family and Thanksgiving and all that. So I'll eat pumpkin pie anytime just to get that hit. My dark horse one is chicken pot pie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Fair.
I've always wanted to get more into shepherd's pie, but there just aren't really that many places that would make an authentic one. But I'd love to try like a really good or homemade shepherd's pie.
And we make a shepherd's pie, but it's not like with the crust and everything. It's just potatoes and beef, basically, some veggies. Right. It's easy.
Colleen will make a real shepherd's pie. Luckily, my wife's family is all from Ireland, so I got a pretty good one.
I never picked that together. That's cool.
Yeah, well, Colleen's not Irish, but her mom is from Limerick, Ireland, way back in the day. So
cool. All right, who would you say is the most stylish villain?
I can't think of his character name at the top of my head, but David Tennant and Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah,
the Purple Man.
Yeah, the Purple Man. I thought he was cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a bad dude too. Like, really despicable character. I loved it.
Yeah, I was thinking like pretty much any Bond villain. Like especially Dr. No, but like all the Bond villains, they're always decked out, which I like.
Yeah.
It's something like impractical, but cool.
I was trying to think of any like stylish horror movie villains. They tend to be grungy.
Yeah.
Well, that could be stylish, like the new Nosferatu. He was kind of rocking it.
That's true. Yeah.
Can't wear pants though.
No. Joey's more into like I just want a guy like in a jumpsuit or a like repairman outfit.
That's right. Yeah, all my favorites just wear coveralls.
Yeah, that Mike Myers speed suit's pretty great.
That's right. Michael, Jason, everybody. So it's all the coveralls.
All right, and then our last question of the night: what's the last strange movie you saw?
Oh gosh.
Oh.
There hasn't been like a lot of strange movies this year. As I was kind of thinking through this, I don't remember if it was this year or end of last year, but I was thinking about Frankie Frico.
Yeah, Frankie Frico was good.
Yeah, I don't remember when that came out, but that's the last one I can remember.
I think Casey and I are both pulling up our letterbox right now. That's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm trying to do. The Borderlac was a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's an
I
odd.
still,
I
it's still on my list to watch. I just haven't sat down and done it.
Yeah, I mean, a puppet shows up,
Mhm. And it's really cool too.
and it's still good.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through and see what I would actually qualify as strange.
Yeah.
Last time we're like, oh, that was odd, unique.
Yeah, Popeye the Slayer Man was kind of strange, but that's a different kind of strange. Oh, okay. So with the Chattanooga Film Fest, I'm as part of their Patreon, they do a monthly screening of some weird old movie. And we watched a movie called Meet the Applegates, I guess,
I remember that.
in March. It is the weirdest movie I've seen in a while. They're all like bug people, and it's got Ed Begley Jr. and Stockard Channing from Grease, but they're all like human bug hybrid type aliens, and they live in the 1950s suburbs. It's a very weird movie. It's very strange. I liked it a lot, though.
Yeah.
It's one of those like 1 star on Letterboxd movies, but I think I gave it like 4. I really had a good time.
Nice.
And so quick plug for Chattanooga Film Fest. The Double Secret Cinema Society is their Patreon, and they do that every month. And Chris has a deep well of weird movies in his brain. We watched one called Alien Warrior this last week. It involved like a karate fighting alien man who also is very hippie-ish about like peace and love, and like at one point all the people who he's influenced are writing positive graffiti on the walls, including the words "Be temperate." It's so weird. I really enjoy it.
That's the alien we need right now.
That's right. Be temperate.
You know, speaking of another weird one, recently I sat in with our mutual friend Joe Ferry at Films at First Sight, and he got me to watch a Slovakian movie, Freckled Max and the Spooks.
Oh,
which is like a
Okay.
80s TV made for TV movie that's got all the classic monsters in it. It's basically a Frankenstein story.
Oh,
It was a
really?
kids movie.
all right. I have to hit up Joe and figure out where I can watch this.
Yeah, you'd like it.
I bet I would.
All right. Well, Casey, thank you for joining us. Where can people find you and your work online? Because you do some awesome artwork as well.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, you can find me, as always, on Blood and Good Horror in your podcast app everywhere. And then you can also find me, I'm on Instagram, cinema.fromage, where I post a lot of artwork. I do a lot of sketches of alien heads. It's my mental health break, so it's fun. A lot out there to peruse, so. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for
Always a
being here.
pleasure. All right. Well, that wraps up another episode. We appreciate everyone for listening. We would really appreciate if you would give us a rating review on iTunes, a rating on Spotify, like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us at Dads from the Crypt Talk on TikTok. With that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.